Hello, so for this week's readings, we covered a lot of detail on exterior finishes for wood light frame construction, foundations, completing and designing the building enclosure. Since this is a lot of information to cover, I'll be going more in detail about the exterior finishes for wood light frame construction that Dana had a lecture on this past Monday. So first off, why should we have exterior finishes? You can resist wind, address moisture changes, weather gracefully, and resist abuse. The textbook has 8 examples of siding that a building can use. 8 of them are board siding, plywood, shingle, metal and plastic siding, stucco, masonry veneer, artificial stone, and fiber cement panel siding. Board siding is basically made out of solid pieces of wood where it's nailed down through the wall, sheathing into studs, making it a really strong attachment since the nailing is done at a very careful pattern. As for plywood siding, it's relatively a lot less expensive, and it's a pretty favorite budget siding choice. Plywood is not really the type of exterior grade plywood that you might use for sheds, since it's rough sawn and textured in appearance, and the edges are pretty shiplap to allow the connections to be a tight fit. The textbook mentions that plywood panel siding is pretty much chosen often for its economy, and the cost of the material per unit area of wall is a lot less than the other siding materials, and the labor costs tend to be a lot lower since there's large sheets of plywood, typically like 4 feet wide. The third type of siding that the textbook mentioned is shingle siding. When you look around Berkeley, there's a lot of buildings with this type of siding. The wood shingles and shakes is a lot more labor intensive compared to plywood siding since all the shingles have to be cut and fitted around the corners and openings of each face of the building, so it's a lot more work and more time consuming. But despite all these challenges, there's a way that these shingles can be applied a lot more quickly by basically making it a lot more modular and panelized in systems so that the on-site labor costs would be a lot more lower compared to individually stapling and gluing each individual shingle on the exterior wall. Next off, we have metal and plastic siding, where we use sheets of aluminum or basically vinyl sidings, which are basically formed or pre-finished to design or imitate wood siding. We have 4 more left, but this next one is my favorite since stucco is the type of finishing or exterior finish that is used at my house actually. And stucco is a strong, durable, and economical type of siding since it's a lot like plaster or cement where you can coat it to a wall, very flexible in shape. Since you can mold stucco to however you like, it's very, very useful. You can mold it to whatever shape that you like. Alright, now the last 3 are masonry veneer, artificial stone, and fiber cement panel siding. I'll be going over these together. So for masonry veneer, this is like a single slice of brick or stone. Artificial stone is made out of mixtures of cement, sand, or other natural aggregates, while fiber cement panel siding is made out of cement, sand, organic or inorganic fibers, which is manufactured into panels that usually span from 4 feet or by 8 feet.